Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. The tailgate show for the tailgaters. Done by the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. Hosted by the Lunch Eaters Man of the Year and legendary broadcaster Bill Bubba Bussey. You only thought you knew college football. Call Mama Moon and saddle up for a football experience. Now, here's Bubba.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and I want to welcome you to the Tailgate Show. We also host Bubba on the Lake. Love for you to check that out, too. But right now, we are going to talk football, and we have a special guest picker today. We want to remind you our website is the tailgatetailgateshow.com, and you can reach any of us at our name at tgtgshow.com. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and all that kind of fun stuff, and follow us on social media. Well, without further ado, I want to introduce, I should say, the whole staff here today. Hunter Bussey. Hunter, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You ready to pick some?
I am. I'm hoping to redeem myself from last week because holy cow, we've continued this generational run of the picks. My future at a Publix deli might be closer than I think.
Well, don't knock it till you've tried it. I have several friends that work there. Nathan Hall, how are you doing?
I'm good. This is one of the better weekends in terms of matchups I think that we've had. I'm excited to break some of that down. The Indianapolis Colts are 3-0, one step closer to their undefeated season and Super Bowl victory. So nothing to complain about on my end.
Well, I would hang on to that. It's a long season. You both had a sparkling 3-3 record last week for an overall record of 17-12, I should say. I did win the week at 4-2, and I maintain a lead at 22-7. Taylor Corn was 3-3 last week. So our experts continue to struggle a little bit too. Well, we got a special guest picker today, and I mean, he is what a great week to have a former Alabama quarterback on. It's the Alabama-Georgia game this week. Former Alabama quarterback and baseball player Spencer Pennington. Spencer, how you doing, buddy?
Bubba, I'm great, man. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to come on. I've been checking out your guys' first couple shows and really enjoy it. My brother does as well, and I'm hoping to do a little bit better as far as this record goes from your previous pickers.
Well, you wouldn't have to do too bad. I think a monkey could beat some of those, Spencer. Spencer, clue us in. Tell us, when did you quarterback and what coaches, what era were you in right there?
Well, Bubba, I tell everybody that's the first question when they find out I played there, obviously. And I tell everybody that I played for Franchione and I practiced for Price and I played for Shula. So there was quite a bit of turnover, from 01 to 05.
Right.
I wound up starting around 13 games in 04. Bubba, Hunter and I were talking prior to us jumping on live here. I was a baseball player, truly, that just happened to sign a football scholarship. I started 4 years originally at third base and then wound up at first base, but then wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It was awesome. Every little boy, at least back then, grew up, if you played football, but wanted to be the quarterback at Alabama,
Oh, yeah.
And so my brother was a player there from 92 to 96 and won a national championship with Coach Stallings. He was a right guard. I was obviously a quarterback, although I guess you can say I'm in more of a bulking phase, Bubba. I'm starting to catch up with that old lineman-looking body right now. So, yeah, it was a great time there and just so thankful, and what a blessing to get to do it.
Well, you did a great job, and you told a funny story one time. I don't know how much you want to dive into it now, but the difference in being the starter and the backup quarterback at Alabama, what's that like? Because you fill both roles.
Yeah, everybody's always wondering about the backup quarterback anytime the starter starts to struggle a little bit. I mean, look at what's going on right now with, Wilson and Jackson Dart with the Giants. Everybody wants to see Jackson Dart in there. And that's all well and good, but I would remind everybody that there's a reason to back up. He's the backup most of the time. Being the sideline guy, Bubba, I'm not exactly sure the story you're wanting me to tell, but if you just want me to, I don't know how much leniency I have here. Are we talking about chewing tobacco on the sideline?
Yeah,
Is that what we're talking about?
That was it. Yeah, that was it. Because you got in a little quicker than you thought.
Yeah, I'm not proud of this, but when you're a quarterback at Alabama or most big places, during the week we're wearing colored jerseys, yellow jerseys, as a matter of fact, and we don't get hit a whole lot. Well, my one vice in life was Copenhagen lawn cut, and I'm not proud of that, and I hope my mom's not listening. But when you're the backup and you're a quarterback during the week, literally you could practice pretty much the whole time with Copenhagen in, and I got used to doing that, and I was pretty effective at doing it and hiding it. And so, also when I'm on the sideline at that point in time, Brody was the starter at that point in time, and I was over on the sideline enjoying myself some Copenhagen, and I think we had about 1 minute and 46 seconds left playing Arkansas, and Brody tweaked his knee, and Coach Fran looked at me and said, "What are you doing? Go get your helmet." Of course, I'm immediate panic mode. Misplaced my helmet, finally found the helmet, throw it on, and last thing I'm worried about is a mouthpiece or whatever. I'm trying to go out and play in front of 100,000 people for the first time, and first and second down were wonderful, no big deal. Hand off to the right, hand off to the left. Well, I'll never forget, it was 3rd and 6, and we called deuce right 212F flat, and I hit a guy on an 8-yard out route, and I was so thankful. I threw a good ball. We caught it. Problem is they had a guy that played in the NFL for about 9 years named Tony Bua, and he hit me right under the rib cage as soon as I let it go. And when I did, I said, and I sucked in what I'd forgotten was about a whole dip of Copenhagen. And so everybody got to witness on the field, including in my own huddle, what happens when you make that mistake. And so the running back had to call the next couple of plays because I couldn't speak. And good news is it was 10-7 at the time I went in. We kicked the field goal, tied it up at halftime, and then they gave Brody some love at halftime, and he came back in, and I assumed the position of calling them plays.
So there is something to be said for being the clipboard holder. You don't get hit. Everybody thinks you should be in there doing a better job, and it's tough sometimes when you get the nod.
It is. It's also like, you pray your whole life to have an opportunity to do it. And then sometimes the good Lord will give you just what you asked for, Bubba. And you realize that there's no replication for live games on Saturdays, even at practice at that level. And so everything moves a little bit faster. But we settled down there. And again, it was an awesome opportunity. And being the backup is a great role. I remember, just real quick, if we have a second, I remember Brody when he was with the Chiefs. He called me one day and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm turkey hunting. What do you think I'm doing?" And he goes, "Man, golly, I'm up here practicing. I ain't gonna get to play. I'm thinking about just coming on back home and finding a job." And I said, whoa, buddy. Wait just a second. You got the best job in America, even if you're the backup or the third string in the NFL. First of all, you're going to be making $500,000 a year to send over there and hold that clipboard.
Sure.
And you don't know how hard it is to get out and make that kind of money in the real world. So you need to stay up there as long as you could. And, obviously had a great career, wound up being the starter at the Chiefs, and still one of my good friends to this day.
Spencer Pennington, the former quarterback at Alabama, our guest. Guys, let's move to the question of the day and get this thing started. After a unanimous vote, there is now only one window a year for the transfer portal. Do you think this is a good thing long-term for the current landscape of college football, or bad? Hunter, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I think this is a good thing, and I think it's honestly a step in the right direction. I'm hoping that they get to the point where they make it to where you can only transfer one time in your college career. I think that's how it should be, because it's turned into a free agency portal which, at the start sounded good. And then now it's like, okay, hold on. You can't even keep a team together to create the chemistry to be a championship contender anymore. It's not fun. It's not a good thing anymore. So I'm hoping that this is a step in the right direction. It feels like it is. But we'll see. Time will tell on this.
Nathan?
I agree with Hunter. What I would eventually like to see is that one transfer per career rule, with the small caveat I would add in. I think in the case of a coaching change, I would allow another transfer.
Yeah,
because so many guys want to go play for a coach as opposed to playing for a name, a school or whatever. So I would allow for that. I think it's beneficial for the coaches because right now they're having to work so hard to recruit the guys that are already on the team. Hugh Freeze talked about that a little bit in the offseason. He was getting criticized for falling so far back in recruiting. But he wanted to, make it known that, no, I'm going after the guys in my locker room, sort of in the way that I guess an NFL GM would. So I think it's beneficial for coaches not having to recruit the guys they've already got as much. But I agree with Hunter. I would like to eventually move towards a one transfer per career rule, barring a coaching change.
Spencer, what do you think?
Yeah, I like what the guy said. I would say that as from a coaching perspective, I would imagine that they would rather that these kids, as far as entering into the transfer portal, do it in the earlier window. Right now, that I think the rule is that's going to be later on in the year. And I would just say that for your bigger schools, when those guys are in the college football playoffs, the coaches that are not in that playoff have a distinct advantage over the other schools. I do think it's great that they're moving it to one time. Bubba and the rest of you guys, there used to be something called loyalty. And playing for your state school, whether it was Alabama, Auburn, obviously growing up around here was a big deal. And, I never questioned. I was so thankful to be there. There was no question that I was going to be there for the long ride, and that's just, I think that teaches you a lot about life, overcoming some adversity, and maybe you're not going to start as a freshman or sophomore, but maybe there's a reason for that. And so the grass is not always greener on the other side. And I'm glad that they're at least trying to get this genie back into the bottle.
It doesn't matter what you have, if it's a softball league, a baseball game, a football league, a family, a classroom, you got to have rules. You got to have rules. And if you violate those rules, there have to be penalties. That's how you keep everything fair. And the court system just absolutely defanged the NCAA. And, of course, they were being arrogant. They shouldn't have ever let it get to court. They should have been changing with the times. And it has just been the Wild West. We've got to have some law and order. There's got to be some window on transfers. There's got to be a limit. I don't mind if a coach leaves and a school lets a coach get away, that also gives the players a chance. I think they ought to have that option. Maybe one transfer. This thing of a guy going to school for 6 years and playing for 6 different teams is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, that is totally ridiculous. And it's already travel ball. You get the best team you can get that year because half of them are going to be gone the next season. So it's just crazy. I think this is a step in the right direction. And I don't know who sets the calendar for the NCAA. I think they may have an issue, if you know what I mean. Because last year we saw the transfer portal open right before the bowl game. So, we saw teams go into a bowl game and half their team wasn't there. And then we have these coaching changes. I think they ought to be a window that the coaches can, there's a dead zone when you can't talk to recruits. There ought to be a dead zone when you can't talk to coaches. And then there'll be an open season for all of that and everybody on the same page, for crying out loud.
And two, I think in no other industry in America are millions of dollars given to employees with no specification on the length of employment. So we've got players that are taking $2-3 million from a university. And I've never seen one of these contracts. I'm not sure if there even are contracts, honestly, but it's got to be written in somewhere. If we give you this $4 million, you are playing here for 2 full seasons.
Well, you're gonna see more of that, and I know for a fact that some of these deals now, these NIL deals, say that if they leave and go to a bigger school for a bigger payout, they owe the school they left a certain percentage of that, like 5 to 10%. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got a leaving penalty. So
But think about this too, man. Think about this just like when I was playing. First of all, if your position coach called you in for a meeting, you were deathly afraid. That was not a good sign, right?
Right.
But think about this. Think about being the quarterback at the University of Alabama, and I'm not going to name any names, but let's say you're making $3 to $4 million, which is currently probably what that is, along with Auburn and all of your major schools.
Yeah.
Is there not something twisted and something wrong with the world that you get called in to your position coach and you're watching film and your position coach is probably making $500,000 to $1 million a year? There is a thought that you could say, you know what, coach, considering I'm making $3 million to $4 million and you are making $500,000, why don't you just sit right there and I'll ask you when I need coaching? Now, see, something's wrong with that. Something's very, very wrong with that scenario, guys.
And it's going on. It's going on, too.
I'd like to ask Spencer, someone who played at that level, if you're in the locker room and let's say you're making $4 million as the quarterback and the left tackle is making $1 million, how keen is he on blocking for you? And, when does that create sort of an animosity in the locker room?
If I'm making, I totally understand that question. But if it was me and I'm making $4 million, I'm going to find out exactly, especially the left tackle, what he enjoys to do, where he likes to eat, what his hobbies are, and things of that nature.
Maybe left tackle wasn't the best example.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, there has to be. I think that's just human nature, though, isn't it? Just to say, what if I wasn't blocking here? As a left tackle? Where would we be as a program?
I would take care of them linemen. They'd all be driving sports cars if I had to give up $1 million to make it so. All right, guys. Let me ask you this. Let's move along. Questionable calls in the Oklahoma-Auburn game. You don't see the SEC office come out often, but they put a statement out pretty quick after the game saying they blew it. Appropriate accountability will be applied without additional comment. I don't know if that means every referee lost a letter grade or they now are going to be sentenced to cover Florida and Arkansas, who's at the bottom of the league, or what. I don't know what that means. Spencer, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen, the old hidden player used to be a big play, but it's illegal now. In the NCAA rule 9.2, Article 2, it's labeled unfair tactics. Paragraph B, I wanted to read this so we're all on the same page. No simulated replacements or substitutions may be used to confuse opponents. No tactics associated with substitutions or the substitution process may be used to confuse opponents. This includes any hideout tactic or without a substitution. In other words, you can't hide a player on the sideline. If that was not a hidden player on the sideline this past week, what is? Spencer, tell me, what happened here?
Well, they just messed up. And as George Costanza said on Seinfeld, you can stuff your sorries in a sack because that doesn't do anybody any good on a Sunday to get that from the NCAA, does it, Bubba? To get an apology to say that we messed up. I mean, there ought to be an opportunity.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think they messed that up if Nick Saban's on the sideline?
That's a really good question, Bubba.
Because I'm going to tell you,
I'll tell you this. I think that they would get there.
Hugh Freeze chewing me out for a week on social media is one thing, and me getting disciplined by the league. Nick Saban chews me out. I don't get to referee anymore. I'm gone.
Well, I agree with that. That's probably some truth to that. I can assure you this, that referees, he would have gotten an earful. Nick Saban would have gotten his money's worth, I can assure you. But at that level of ball, man, you just can't miss that. You can't miss that. And I hate it. I hate it for them, even though, obviously it's Auburn and I'm an Alabama guy. I just mean for the sport in general. You can't at that level and for how much each win and how hard it is to win in the SEC, you can't miss that. And to come out with an apology afterwards does nobody any good.
Yeah,
even AJ McCarron on his podcast was saying like they were, they brought it up when they were moving on to a segment, and before the guy could even finish his sentence, he was like, Auburn got hosed. And if that's coming from AJ McCarron, then the whole country's like, oh, okay, yeah, they messed up.
Well, listen, I agree with you 100%. And as far as the Alabama and Auburn thing goes, Bubba, you know this. I've been in sales pretty much since day one after leaving Alabama. And anytime I walked into an Auburn guy, I always hit him with the same thing. And that was that I was Auburn's best player for 3 years. My goodness, we can get along,
All right, guys, listen, we're going to have to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to start doing some picks right after this. You're listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled cool wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
We're back. It is the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters and the not ready for primetime pickers. And, buddy, they have proven that to be true top to bottom. We move to the picking time. We have we got some really good matchups this week to talk about. Kentucky goes to South Carolina. Hunter, how you see it?
I got South Carolina in this one. I think they are hungry for a win, and they're ready to get back in the win column. They start out the season, with a lot of preseason hype. They haven't really performed to that hype and met the hype. I think they bounce back with a win this weekend against Kentucky.
Nathan?
I've also got South Carolina. Lenore Sellers was my guy at the beginning of the year. He was my sort of Heisman front runner. I think I named him the best quarterback in the SEC. And I'm going to have to eat crow on that one. I have just not seen that out of him. And he's battled injuries. That's been a part of it. But it's just he's not where I thought he was going to be. That said, this is Kentucky. And as bad as my pick record is, I think I'm going to hedge my bets and say that William Bryce is just a little bit too much for the Wildcats of Kentucky. I'm going to roll with South Carolina.
Spencer, Pennington, what do you think?
I'm going with South Carolina as well. I think Lenore Sellers gets back on track, has a great game. He is uber talented, man. You talk about looking like you're supposed to in a uniform. That's how you draw one up as far as a quarterback goes these days. And I also love Shane Beamer. I think he's a wonderful coach. I know he's a godly man. And, I'm going with the Gamecocks.
I'm the same way. I love Shane Beamer. I met him when he was coaching at Mississippi State, and he used to listen to the radio show, and we had some conversation about that. Love the way his dad coached. South Carolina looked good early, stumbled a little bit with that Vandy thing. That's always a little bit of a mystery, but I'm with you guys. I think at home, the Gamecocks, and I love to hear that rooster crow, is going to be a little bit too much. It may be closer than we think, but I think the Gamecocks will pull it out in the end. USC goes to Illinois. How do you see it, Hunter?
So last week I did a coin flip with Illinois against Indiana, and I picked Illinois because tails never fails, and tails failed me miserably.
Yep,
because they got blown out by Indiana 63-10. 63-10. Just awful. And because of that, I think because they have the talent, I mean, they were 9th in the nation for a reason. I think they will bounce back this weekend. USC is very talented this year, but I just don't think it's enough to get past Illinois.
Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, Illinois being in the top 10 after having beat Western Illinois, Duke, and Western Michigan is a joke. They were a fake, fraudulent team, had no business being anywhere near the top 10, and Indiana exposed them. And I don't think Indiana's even that phenomenal of a team. That just shows you where Illinois is at. USC is not super proven. They beat Michigan State, and they looked pretty impressive doing it. I've seen nothing out of Illinois that makes me think they're a decent football team other than beating Duke. Congratulations. I'm rolling with USC.
Spencer, how you see it?
I agree with the USC pick. Yeah, they're 4-0. Their schedule has not been that tough, but I also don't think that the Indiana team is that strong. I really like Coach Cignetti and everything he's done there, but I think USC pulls it out.
I'm going to go with you guys. I think USC may be a little bit of a sleeper. I think they may be further along in their rebuild than people realize, especially on the line. And I'm going with the Trojans on the road. They're a 6.5 to 7 point favorite right now. So I'm gonna march with the Trojan band on that one. Big game. It should be very colorful. It's you got two teams from two different coasts. You've got teams one that has kind of drab uniforms and one that always has uniforms with lights and sparkly things on it. You have Oregon at Penn State. How do you see it, Spencer? I'll flip the order and let you go first.
You got it. So I'm going with Oregon, and here's why. Penn State's played Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. I repeat, Nevada, FIU, Nova. Also, check this out. Oklahoma State, Oregon beat them 69-0. 34-14, Northwestern. 41-7 over Oregon State. That offense is explosive. They have been for many, many years now. And I hate to say this, but James Franklin is known to let one slip away that he is not supposed to, and has done it over and over again. So for that reason, I'm going with Oregon.
Nathan?
Yeah, I like the Oregon pick. The Oklahoma State game that Spencer mentioned, that was a game that I didn't have it on. I walked through the living room as it was kind of nearing the end. And when I saw 69-3 on the TV, I'm not even an Oklahoma State fan. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oregon is explosive. They're explosive every year. They have just basically unlimited, not basically, literally unlimited NIL money. Phil Knight's made that very clear. And Penn State is another one of those teams that every year we're told this is the year, this is Penn State's year. They're supposed to be in the top 10. They're legit, and they always slip and lose one of the big ones. They always lose to Ohio State. And Oregon right now looks like they could be the best team in the country. I'm making the safe pick, and I'm going with Oregon.
Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what Spencer was saying. There's been a lot of hype around Penn State year in and year out. They're like, yeah, this is the year. Literally today on ESPN, they're talking about this is the best team Penn State has had since the 90s. Well, that's cool. Like, who have y'all played though? With that being said, I think Oregon, like Spencer was saying, their offense is just too high powered for Penn State. Considering who they've played so far, I don't think they will be prepared for that type of speed that they're about to see. Give me the Shoe Dogs alma mater. Give me the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, Penn State, I was looking at the betting line, is a 3.5 point favorite right now, which is basically home field advantage. So it's a toss-up between the teams. It'll be the brawn of Penn State versus the speed of Oregon. And honestly, I think Oregon is going to make the Valley very unhappy when all is said and done. I'm going with the Ducks also. All right, we got Tennessee coming off a big loss going to Mississippi State. And Spencer, how you see that one?
I love Tennessee's quarterback, Joey Aguilar. He is so talented, has done a phenomenal job this year. I hate that color orange, but as bad as it pains me, I'm going to pick Tennessee.
Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely lean heavily towards Tennessee, mainly because of Joey Aguilar, and UCLA looks stupider and stupider every week for making the trade that they made. I'll never understand that. Mississippi State's interesting. They've got that week 2 win over Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State, they look pretty strong. I just don't know if they're SEC strong, whatever that means. That doesn't mean what it used to mean. But I'm going to go Tennessee here. I think the passing game is going to end up being too much for Mississippi State. It's at Mississippi State, so we'll see if Joey Aguilar can throw with the cowbells ringing in his ear. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee in this one.
Hunter, how you see it?
First off, Spencer, I'm proud of you for picking Tennessee. It takes a lot from a former Alabama quarterback to pick Tennessee. I know it had to hurt a little bit, but
well, I'm choking down Pepto-Bismol as we speak. Go ahead.
It's like you swallowed. So it's like you swallowed that dip again. Right?
Yeah,
that's exactly right. I think it may be worse.
But yeah, with Tennessee, yeah, they did lose to Georgia, but they bounced back last week against UAB. That being said, I think they're going to keep the momentum going. I think this is going to be a walk-away win against Mississippi State, who they're not awful. But Tennessee is just going to be too much. I like Joey Aguilar in this game. I think he's going to have a great game against the Bulldogs. Give me Tennessee.
Well, this we just got a statement in from the SEC office, and apparently the referee crew from the Auburn-Oklahoma game has been sentenced to do Mississippi State games the rest of the year. So they're going to have to listen to those cowbells. Yeah, LSU, or I should say Tennessee, they're a 7 to 14 point favorite on the road. Love Mississippi State. A lot of nice folks over there, but I think Tennessee is reestablishing itself as one of the dominant teams in the SEC, and I think they will have a road win. Might be a little closer than we think, but I think the Vols will come out. Guys, I'm going to ask you about one more before we take a break here. We have, and it's early in the year, and I know that, okay, but we have the number 1 and number 2 team in the SEC playing each other, LSU at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is sitting atop the SEC with a 2-0 record. Hunter, how you see it?
This one has been my coin flip game. I like both teams. I think they're both talented. I just think LSU has more talent than Ole Miss, and for that reason, I'm taking Ole Miss to upset Ole Miss on the road. I just like Nussmeier. I think he's a great quarterback. Brian Kelly is still cringy to me as, everything, but, for pick's sake, I'm picking LSU. Nothing against Ole Miss, but I just think that there is more talent on that LSU roster than Ole Miss at the moment.
Nathan, what do you think?
So I don't trust the College Football Playoff Committee at all after what they did to Florida State recently, but I trust them a lot more than I do the AP voters, who are awful and know nothing. LSU being ranked in the top 4 is laughable to me. Clemson is a bad football team. The Florida Gators are a bad football team, and LSU was in a dogfight with both of them. Are they good? I'm sure they are good. They have an incredible roster. They are not one of the best 4 teams in the country. I think Lane Kiffin is going to win this game, and this is a guy who was always waiting on Lane Kiffin to drop the annual "How did Lane Kiffin lose that game?" I know it's coming. I don't know when it's coming. I don't think it's going to be this game against LSU. And this is my hedging my bets week after my awful, awful pick record the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to play it safe. So that's factoring into my decision making, but I just don't see LSU being as good as people think they are. Clemson and Florida are awful. Like they're below decent. They're in awful category. So given the fact that that's LSU's 2 biggest kind of marquee wins, I don't trust it at all. I think Ole Miss has almost as good of a roster. I think they're better coached. Brian Kelly is weird. I'm going Ole Miss.
Spencer, how you see it? Ole Miss is a 1.5 point favorite at home. How do you see it?
I'll tell you, LSU, they're a talented bunch. I will say that Nussmeier is a threat to pull a Pennington and throw one to the opposite team every now and then. So playing at LSU way back when, it was actually Nick Saban's last year there. And we came out, man, and we were clicking on all cylinders and we're jumped out ahead, and they made one of the worst calls in the history. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it was actually a show on the SEC channel, top 10 missed calls of the year. And they pushed the guy down, DJ Hall, pushed him down in the end zone, made an interception. I attempted to make a tackle, but I'm not one for playing defense. Long story short, I don't like LSU, never have, never will. Not to mention Lane Kiffin's got a documentary that's going to start tonight on Netflix. So guess what? You ain't going to be able to tell that dude anything. And as his old saying goes, I think it's time to get your popcorn ready, baby.
I like it.
I have to tell y'all, Lane Kiffin to me is like the Wizard of Oz. He just does it. I don't know how he does it. He has turned Ole Miss into a powerhouse team here. They're winning 8, 9, 10 games a year. That was unheard of a few years ago, and he can stay there and make a lot of money for the rest of his life. I would not bet again. And I know there's always that Lane Kiffin game. I give you that. I don't think this is it. I think the Rebels will pull this out at home, and they will send LSU packing. We'll be right back and take a look at Auburn, Alabama, and some other schools. You're listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The management advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Looking for your dream home at Lake Martin? Trust Adam Yeager at Lake Martin Realty. Adam's honest, hardworking, and puts you, the client, first. Every time. With his local expertise and dedication, he'll guide you to the perfect property, hassle-free. Whether buying or selling, let Adam go to work for you. Call Adam Yeager at Lake Martin Realty today, 205-914-0830. Lake Martin Realty is a licensed real estate brokerage. Terms and conditions apply.
You're back. Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, along with Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and former Alabama quarterback Spencer Pennington, as we give you the picks you can take to the bank. Guys, let's turn it a little closer to home. We have several games at home. I'm going to start with the Jack State game and save Auburn and Alabama for last. Jack State travels to Southern Miss. Last year, the Gamecocks embarrassed Southern Miss in Jacksonville 44-7. Both teams are 2-2. They're playing at Southern Miss this time. How do you see it, Hunter?
Yeah, I got Jack State in this one. Shocker. I just think Wimsatt is finally getting into his groove. He played phenomenal against Murray State, and yes, it is Murray State, but I mean, he looked as comfortable as I've seen him all year. And with that 1-2 punch in the backfield with Cook, it's going to be a good game. But I think Jack State comes out on top at Southern Miss.
Nathan, how you see it?
Yeah, I've been known to sort of lean in the direction of Jack State on these picks, and Hunter claims that I do it out of some sort of sick desire to acquire tickets or something like that, which I think is offensive. Honestly, offensive is the word I would use.
All you got to do is ask.
Listen, I'm a man of integrity. I do not care about tickets. It is not about that. I genuinely think Jack State is going to win this game 87-0.
Well, there's a pick.
Yeah, there's one.
I don't think Southern Miss has a chance. I think Southern Miss will throw 8 interceptions in the first half, and Jack State runs away with it. It's not even close.
Spencer, how do you see it? Are you familiar with the Gamecocks?
I am obviously, and I got a buddy that runs this podcast is a little familiar with them too. So for just for that reason alone, I'm going to go with the Gamecocks. I don't know much about Southern Miss, but I'm going Gamecocks on the road.
Yeah, I think Jack State's pound and ground game will win this in the fourth quarter. I don't think it's going to be 44-7 again, but I think if Jack State can keep it close, they will pull it out in the end. And, I have a simple rule here. Don't pick against your paycheck. I'm going with the Gamecocks. All right, let's talk.
Bingo.
Let's talk Auburn and Texas A&M. Spencer, how you see it?
I look back at Auburn's game last week. Jackson Arnold played really well, Bubba. And you know what? They trust him. And let me tell you why I know that they trust him. In your own end zone in the first quarter, you got him drop him back, and he completes a 45-yard pass, right? Then in the second quarter, another long pass out of the own end zone. If you look at last week, y'all had a couple special teams things. You fielded a punt on your own 4-yard line for some reason. Everybody should have been yelling, Peter, 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 and that guy should have gotten out of the way. And then lastly, the bad snap on the punt, right? The bad snap on the punt got your punter sacked. I think that those are easily correctable. And with the trust that they've given Jackson Arnold, if the O-line can hold up, boy, oh boy, my dad would not like this, but I'm going to pick Auburn.
Nathan, how you see it?
Yeah, well, I think Auburn's going to come out with a vengeance after what happened to him in the OU game. Jackson Arnold, I think, is a really, really good player. I like what I've seen out of him. My only critique is I think sometimes he holds on to the ball a little bit too long, and that probably contributed to the 10 sacks. I think we can't put all of that on the offensive line. But listen, the bright spot for me in that Auburn game was DJ Durkin's defense. And Hunter and I talked about after the South Alabama game, like, man, we didn't look as good as, we thought we would. And do we think he was kind of hiding some of those coverages, knowing that he had OU coming up? And, man, he pulled out all the stops against Oklahoma. I hate that game was taken from him because I think they earned a win. That being said, that's in the past. Moving on to A&M, Marcel Reed looks really good. He's going to make plays. And Auburn's edge rushers are going to have to do their best to contain him. But man, I think I'm going to go Auburn here. I think they look really, really good. I think they're probably a top 10 caliber talent roster. It's just going to be a matter of can they go into College Station and handle the pressure. But Norman's not an easy place to play either. So I'm going to go Auburn. That's sort of my risky pick for the week. I'm going to go Auburn.
Hunter, how you see it?
Yeah, I've been back and forth on this one. I like Marcel Reed a lot. He is very, very. My comparison, anytime I see a very skinny quarterback who can run the read option to perfection, it makes me think of Nick Marshall. And Marcel Reed is very quick. I don't know if anyone in this, in this group has watched an A&M game this season, but he is lightning fast. Which I think could give Auburn some problems. But that being said, I think Auburn is going to come out with a win in A&M. That game last year went into 4 overtimes. It was a very emotional game. I was at that game, actually. Had to help a buddy of mine storm to the field because he had a bad knee. So I basically had to carry him onto the field as we rushed the field. But
you're not talking about me, I hope.
No, not you. No, not you. No. Yeah, if we did that, I'd have to look into my strength for something else.
You need a forklift.
But that being said, yeah, I think Jackson Arnold's going to be just on the money this week against A&M. He is down a receiver, though. Horatio Fields suffered a broken foot in practice today, and it's going to require surgery. And he's tallied 12 receptions for 106 yards, and he's been a solid go-to for Jackson. But that being said, though, the next man up is Perry Thompson. They have a lot of depth in that room. But we'll see what happens. I trust DJ Durkin's defense. I told Nathan, like, what he referred to. I used the term sandbagging because it felt like that's exactly what he was doing at South Alabama. And granted, the score didn't reflect the sandbagging, but the effort on defense did. So I think, here on out, G.J. Durkin's going to put all the stops for any of the SEC opponents, and we'll see what happens. But give me Auburn in this game against A&M.
Hey, Bubba, real quick. Yeah. This is Spencer again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need a mulligan. I need a mulligan. I just, the old saying, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. I just got a text because she's listening to this in the other room, in the bedroom, and said, who have I married picking Auburn? And so, you know what? I'm going to go Texas A&M because of the 12th man and because they got 103,000 people. And also so that I don't fall into the trap of everybody picking the same. So I'm going A&M.
And so the 12th man is actually a woman.
A woman.
We don't want to cause any problems here at the Tailgate Show.
Hey, and a good-looking woman, too, so I'm going to go with her.
Well, Spencer, I'm going to end up going with you in this. I'm not from Missouri, but Auburn's going to have to show me something. Hey, we're good. We've got these recruits. We got these receivers. All that's fine and dandy. Win a freaking game that matters, that ain't over a candy.
Yep.
Okay?
Amen.
We've heard all the hype. Show me something. We've heard this is.
Can I add to?
Listen, let me tell you.
just reminded me.
You can't change your pick too, Nathan. You're locked in. I'm sorry.
I'm locked in. I just wanted to say, Hunter just reminded me of the fact that we stormed the field against Texas A&M in a regular season game in a losing season. Hunter, why do you want me to live in depression?
Listen, guys. Here's the thing. We heard Auburn's problem has been their offensive line for years. All we heard was how much better they were this year. And we saw the Baylor game. But if you notice, when Jackson Arnold run all those yards, he was running for his life. He was back to throw passes and was forced out of the pocket. And then we saw them not able to push Ball State around, and I knew we had a problem. And then at Oklahoma, we give up, 9-10 sacks?
11.
Folks, 11 sacks. Good. Hey,
good. And for a safety.
Hey, good golly molly. Hey, offensive line, we need the Lee County Moving Company to show up, because until they fix that line, Auburn is going to be a perennial punching bag and a 500 team and not go to a bowl game. They got to grow up. They got to block somebody. They got to show that they got to set and get something done. We're going to do. Hey, family is great. Championships are better, guys. Let me just give you that speech, okay? You want to be in a family, be in one that has a championship trophy, not be a loser, okay? That's what you need to
Bubba,
do.
you better quit. You got me ready to headbutt sheetrock over here. I'm fired up, man. I love it.
Listen, I need to get in the locker room and give a speech. If Hugh Freeze is not capable, I am, okay? I am picking Alabama A&M because I'm picking Texas A&M. Yeah, I'm going to pick them too, because you got to show me something, Auburn, and you haven't shown me yet. I'm going with Texas A&M, and we will take a break, and we'll be right back on the Tailgate Show.
Another staff meeting, another push for cross-selling, another awkward silence. Then Banker Bounty happened. The first referral platform made just for banks. One app that empowers every employee, not just your top producers, to bring in business. No more spreadsheets, no more silos, just clarity, culture, and actual growth in real time. Banker Bounty fixes more than your referral program. It fixes your momentum. Go to bankerbounty.com, watch the video, book your free demo. Banker Bounty, create, manage, and track referrals in real time.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
You're listening to the Tailgate Show. I'm your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, along with Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and special guest picker, former Alabama quarterback, Spencer Pennington. Spencer, I'll go to you. The big game of the week, Alabama at Georgia. How do you see it?
But I'm going, obviously. Had one of the longest days of my life playing at Georgia. That's a tale for another time. And that was a long time ago. I want to read you something here. The last two games, Ty Simpson's 41 for 46 for 608 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's pretty darn good. I think he's coming into his own. And then also we got a guy that's been out for the first 3 games, and we're getting him back, baby. His name is Jambo, Bambo, Wambo, thank you, Mambo, Jam Miller. He's coming back. And I think we're going to do it. And I certainly hope so, because Georgia is the worst, and the fans are the worst.
Nathan, how do you see it?
I agree with you there. Well, I don't know. I think if Ryan Williams has his fingernail polish on and his teddy bear, he will go for 300 yards. He doesn't need to listen to the haters. I think it is intimidating. Yeah, it scared me the first time I saw it.
In what world?
If he would add in the lipstick, that's what I keep saying on here. If he would add in the lipstick, it will take it to it.
Do you think he look good in pearls?
Listen. I don't want to give. I'm an Auburn guy. I don't want to give Alabama any ideas. He's dangerous enough as it is. But look, here's the deal. Alabama has gotten better and better each week. The Florida State game, I think a lot of people looked at that and said, how did they lose a game to a, quote, 2-10 team? This Florida State team is not the 2024 Florida State. This is a legit football team. Alabama, I think, maybe looked past them or overlooked. I don't know what happened, but Florida State is legit. Alabama looks good against Wisconsin, and I understand it's Wisconsin at the end of the day. But I think Alabama understands their backs are against the wall. This is going to be one of those kind of pivotal games in terms of Alabama's direction. Which direction are we going in with Kalen DeBoer? Georgia has looked vulnerable the last year or two. I don't think they're this world beater, unstoppable team. My gut tells me Alabama, and I'm going to roll with the Alabama Crimson Tide over the Georgia Bulldogs.
Hunter, how you see it?
Yeah, if Ryan Williams pulls up to the stadium looking like Prince, just go ahead and roll the credits. It's going to be a ball game. But yeah, I think Alabama is on a heater right now. I think, like Nathan was saying, they understand their backs are against the wall. Like, they pretty much have to win every game from here on out if they want to be in the committee's good graces to make the playoff. Ty Simpson is hot right now. And Ryan Williams is good, yes, but I'm telling you, I said it before, I'll say it again, Jeremy Menard, I think, is the best receiver on the roster. He has an NFL type of body. He is going to have the game of his life in Georgia. Just sit and watch. I'm telling you, he will light up Athens with the amount of routes he will write on that defense. Give me Alabama by 2 touchdowns.
Heck yeah, Bubba. Follow them up, baby. We're 3 for 3.
All right. I hate to be the guy to jump off the wagon here. This is a toss-up. I think they have Georgia a 3.5-point favorite, which that's home field advantage. It's going to be a toss-up. I hope the game is as exciting and enjoyable as last year's. You remember Alabama got a huge lead. Georgia come rearing back, and then we have a shootout. I mean, it was you couldn't take a bathroom break. It was so exciting.
Yeah, it was a great game.
And I'm looking forward to that being a great game again. I'm going to give Kirby Smart a slight edge in this, being between the hedges. I think he's going to be laser focused. I think he stayed up late studying Alabama's offense, and I think they are going to really pressure Simpson and try to break this incredible record that he's on of accuracy and break his timing up. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here just because they're playing at home. It's a toss-up, and we'll see how all that plays out. I hate to do it right in front of Spencer and his wife.
It's all good, brother.
Spencer, I want to tell you, because you may not be aware of this, we're looking for Tailgaters of the Week, and I'm honest, being honest here, when we started this, I have not got as many entries as I thought. I don't know if people don't care about this or my email's not working or what, but, you know, we're looking for the Tailgater of the Week. We're wanting to give the coveted Silver Sow trophy. We're wanting to give them a Chick-fil-A pack. We're wanting to give them some money, but no one has really come forth and had a good registration yet. So get those emails to me if you want to be considered for Tailgater of the Week, and we hopefully will start that in a week or two when we get some entries. Or if no one gives a rip, we'll just say to heck with it, and we'll all go get to Chick-fil-A and eat it ourselves. How about that?
And Spencer, you said you had a little shout-out, correct?
I do, man. My brother's oldest son, JT Pennington, is playing at Kennesaw State, and love this kid. He's a great young man. He's also one heck of a ball player, and he just won Offensive Lineman of the Week for the entire Conference USA. So big shout out to JT Pennington, and I'll be headed over there to watch him play Saturday against Middle Tennessee.
Big time.
And they come.
Proud of him, man.
Don't they come to Jack State later this year?
Yes, they do, Bubba, and they got something for you, and I'll be there too. So me and you'll have a little side bet on this Georgia-Alabama deal.
Well, let me know when you're coming. We'll try to find you a seat. We can't. Nathan hadn't earned one yet, but we'll find you a ticket. Okay.
Much obliged. Hey, and as far as the tailgate of the week goes, I know just what to do with all that Chick-fil-A. And tell me what email it goes to, and I'll take a snapshot of what we got going on.
Do that. Okay. Send it to Bubba at tgtgshow.com. That's Bubba at tgtgshow.com. If you've got what it takes to be tailgater of the week, let us know, and we will present you accordingly. Guys, thank you so much for your picks this week. Spencer, thank you for being our guest picker. You've been a lot of fun.
Man, it's been a lot of fun for me. It's good to talk to you again, Bubba, and I appreciate you having me on, and let's go get some cheap Mexican soon.
Yeah, we're way overdue for that. Nathan, Thank you for being here. And Nathan, do you mind, because I know you're very good at this, would you just thank our Spanish friends for listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show?
Sure, yeah, gracias por escuchar este episodio de este programa. Pues nos gusta hablar de fútbol americano y gracias por escuchar.
Boy, that was a lot to say, just to say thanks for listening.
Goodness.
Did you order dinner in that too? I didn't catch all
I did. I ordered breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Hunter, thank you for being a sidekick again.
Yeah, always. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm glad it's something that we get to do together. I've been enjoying it. We're 5 episodes deep now, and hope to do more. Spencer, I appreciate you being a guest on here. It's been a lot of fun getting to talk to you.
Hunter, go ahead.
We love your show, by the way. The Pennington household was sold out for the Tailgate show, by the way. My brother loves it. My wife loves it, and I wish y'all the best of luck. God bless you, man.
Well, listen,
and also we have merch available now too. We just posted it the other day. We have a T-shirt and a hoodie out just in time for the fall, so you'll make sure to check that out.
Because I know if you won't take time to register your tailgate, you probably want to promote the show with a hoodie.
But I'll see you at the Jack State game in Kennesaw, and I'm an egg sale, okay?
Listen, let me know for sure you're coming, and we'll take care of you on that. Hunter, also, you're going to be doing a little something extra for the Auburn broadcast. You want to say something about it?
Yeah, I am going to be hosting the fourth quarter and wrapping up the live stream for the watch-along for the Barn. Honored to get the opportunity to do that, and y'all be sure to go subscribe to the Barn Auburn for all the Auburn fans out there, as well as Cover Crimson.
So thank all of you for being part of it, and thank all of you for listening. And remember our website, the tailgatetailgateshow.com. We have a list of our radio partners. If you don't get the podcast, we also have radio stations carrying this later on Saturday morning, so you can catch that if you're not a podcast person. We just want to meet you where you are and have a little fun talking college football. So until toe touches leather again, that's going to do it for this week on the Tailgate Tailgate Show. Take care. God loves you, and so do we.
You've been listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, a production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees, all rights reserved. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe to the show and all social media. Contact information is on our website at thetailgatetailgateshow.com. Until next time, may your coals stay hot and your tent stay dry.